So for question 2, we have, what are the first steps entrepreneurs should be taking to ensure they are legally operating their businesses?
Mm. Getting set up straight is going to set you off on the right foot. So the first thing, and most people when they're just starting out, they're picking one of two forms of business. So you're either going to be a sole proprietor, which is just you open your door and you go into business, or you're going to be what's called a single member LLC. So it's just you. If you're going into business with other people, there are other forms of business that you want to talk to your attorney or your accountant about. But for the bulk of people just trying to start their business, those are the two. The sole proprietor is easy. Like I said, you just open your door for business and you can work. There's no forms to fill out. There's no anything there. It's just you. It's filed. The taxes are reported right on your tax return. And there's no license, there's just nothing there. It's just there. The single member LLC, the big difference is that you have to register and create this entity. So you're going to want an attorney to help you with it. Usually you have to file with your state. So there's annual just licensing and reporting things. So don't forget to do that. And the biggest difference though between those two is a sole proprietor, it's just you. So if something happens, you are personally liable for anything that happens with your business. The single member LLC kind of shelters you personally, and it's just your business is there. So for tax reporting purposes, they're both exactly the same. It's just a matter of liability and some filing. So it depends on most people I know start with just the sole proprietor. If things get more complicated, you can change it anytime. It's not a problem.
Okay. Awesome.
Okay, and then after that, once you decide that, you're going to want to get an EIN for most people. If you are doing a business bank account, you definitely need an EIN. If you're paying employees, you need an EIN. It's your social security number for your business.
Okay.
If you are sole proprietor, you don't have to, but just realize that you are probably going to give your social security number out to people. And in this day and age, you probably don't want to do that. So it's really, really easy to get an EIN. You could do it yourself. I have a link on my business website, which I know B will share with you, and you could just get it instantaneously. You can download it. It's very, very easy. Even if you're a sole proprietor, you can get an EIN so that you are not sharing that. And I do recommend that because security is really a big issue these days. The third thing you want to do is get a separate bank account and at least a debit card, if not a credit card. If you're running a business, you have to run it like a business. You have to keep things separate. If you're not, you have to keep things separate. It is good for so many reasons, but it's easier for you because then everything that is deposited in that bank account is income and all the expenses are there. So one, you have a record, but two, if anyone ever comes asking, this is your business. Otherwise, they're going to go looking through your checking account and they're going to be like, what's this $300? Oh, that's money from grandma? Oh, are you sure that's not income? I think it's income. And you have no way to prove it, right? So just set it all up separately. It's going to be easy. I will tell you, for me, I deposit all my clients' checks one at a time into my bank account for my business. So I have an audit trail. And then I just transfer money into my personal account. I mean, it's pretty easy, but it's just, it is very crucial that you keep things separate. Okay, so after that, and I kind of alluded to it, you have to keep receipts, okay? I hate receipts. I'm not kidding. We all hate receipts. No one even, I mean, half the time you don't even look at it when you go, like you go to Target, I don't even know what I spent, right? I'm like, how much I spend? Okay, I don't keep my individual receipts unless it's like for something major. You have to keep the receipts for your business, okay? And they don't want to just see the credit card stamp. They want the receipt. So if you ever get asked, they want the receipt. So I have a couple of methods. I keep the paper ones, and if it's not a big piece of paper, I tape it to a big piece of paper. And then if it's not evident of what we're doing, then I write little notes on there. So for example, if B and I were having coffee, if we were discussing business, I'd write coffee with B to discuss business strategies. Boom. And it's in there. And it's easy, right? Okay, here's the other trick. If you have a phone, you can just snap a picture of it. You have no excuses these days, okay? You can even snap it, and I have a thing where you can snap it and like save it into your notes file or put it right into like Dropbox. Like there is no excuse. Like at least you have it, okay? Just, I always laugh. I watched Say Yes to the Dress. say yes to the receipt. Okay, you have to. I love people laugh, but you remember, keep that receipt. You're going to hear me in your ear. Okay, and the last one is bookkeeping, or record keeping. Okay, so accounting. My key word when I tell people is you have to be able to make informed decisions, right? Well, without information, how do you know where you're at? So I had someone tell me, oh, I just give all my stuff to my bookkeeper at the end of the year. I'm like, what? Like, how do you know if you made money? How do you know how much money you have? I'm like, and you're missing stuff, right? Like, so if you don't have it, you're probably paying taxes on more than you otherwise had to, right? So there's several methods from very, very simple to a little more expensive and complicated. So, I mean, I have clients that use the yellow pad method. I mean, they literally write at the end of the year, they take all their receipts out of the file, they write, all the categories, and they add them up for me. Okay, I think that's a terrible way, but it works. It works, okay? Then I have people that use an Excel spreadsheet, which I'm happy to share with you. So, literally the same thing, date, vendor, and then all the expense categories. And it gives you what you need and it titles it down. The challenge with that is it's only for that year. It only tells you where you're at. You can't do hey, how was I doing last year? How much did I spend last year? Like it gets you what you need for your tax return, and it's better than nothing. And I have clients that use it. But there are simple methods that give you more information. So like QuickBooks, I love QuickBooks. I think it's really simple. And I highly recommend it. And you can use it on your phone. And you can download your bank statement to it. So I like that. I have tried many, many, many of these expense tracker apps. I don't like them. Like, if people have ideas, please share with me, because it feels like you have to take a picture and then you send it. Like, it's too many steps. Like, it's just as easy to use the Quicken. Like, I'm like, how many steps? But everyone's style is different. There are so many of them out there. Figure out what works for you, but just make sure you do it. And then ultimately you can work with a bookkeeper. And so as your business grows, that's probably something you want to invest in. I have several that I can recommend. And what they do is they keep things up to date, either monthly or at least quarterly when you have to pay your taxes. And they have another set of eyes. So they could be like, hey, have you thought about this? Hey, I noticed this is there. They can give you you're focused on your business. Let them focus on this. So, there's a whole range of things, whichever method you like, as long as you're doing it, it's okay. So, those are the steps.
Perfect. Thank you so much. That's full of amazing information.